The only thing we can't do is sign autographs. The Rise of Virtual K-pop Bands by Jake Kwan and Ivan Watson. This is on CNN, obviously October 4th of this year. So what is this? Virtual K-pop bands. Now, I'm not a big K-pop musical enthusiast. I couldn't tell you one song. I know BTS is I guess a boy band K-pop group. Um that's the limit of my knowledge. I really don't know too much about the art form other than that. I've listened to because of reading this, I've listened to a K-pop song. Um and I think NBA 2K has had some K-pop songs. I'm most likely wrong about that, but they might have in like 2K13, 2K14, something like that. I can't really remember. But let's read a little bit of the article and kind of get into what is a virtual K-pop band. In the music video for their latest single, DTD GMGN, members of the South Korean band Eternity dance in perfect time to a bubblegum pop beat in a neon pink room decorated with school uniforms and celebrity posters. The dizzying camera movements and quick-paced scene changes are typical of the K-pop genre that has become a global phenomenon in recent years. Hold me tight. Lean on my shoulder. One member sings, but the group's fans cannot do either of those things, physically speaking, because none of Eternity 11 bandmates are real. Built using AI technology, Eternity is one of the latest South Korean acts pushing the boundary between real and visual entertainment. As the group's creator and management company Pulse 9 believes that computer-generated stars have a significant edge over their real-life counterparts. As with most popular K-pop groups, Eternity's members include a group leader, vocalists, rappers, and dancers. But one member in particular, this is for this particular group, Eternity. One member in particular, Zayn, can do it all. Zayn has a combination of characteristics that most human artists would be hard stretched to pull off, said the firm's CEO, Park Ji-yoon. She can sing very well, rap very well, and she can be creative as a fashion designer. And she's a natural born actress. So let's watch this video. This will kind of go over the article, and then we will continue reading.
Pop confection. This video by girl group Eternity racked up 6.5 million views on YouTube in 9 months. But not all is as it appears here. My name is Ivan. What's your name?
My name is Jane.
Can you tell me about your band?
네. 안녕하세요. 저는 세계
I'm from the world's first virtual K-pop girl group, she tells me. Jane and the 10 other members of Eternity aren't real. Techtainment company Pulse 9 created these characters and face swaps them over human actors using artificial intelligence. I'm speaking to an AI pop star. Is this the future of entertainment? AI celebrities and singers?
네, 가능합니다.
Yes, it's possible. Of course, we cannot be seen in person, but if you have a device, you can communicate with us anywhere at any time. As a virtual group, we are not limited by location. We can broadcast anywhere. The only thing we cannot do is sign an autograph.
And Eternity isn't the only AI K-pop creation. Maeve is another virtual girl band with videos that have tens of millions of views.
We captured a human's performance, facial performance, and then turned it into 3D animation with AI.
Kang Sung-koo and Metaverse Entertainment created Maeve. Designers say the goal isn't to try to replace human artists like BTS or Beyonce. Instead, they want to create something like the next generation of Siri.
I'm Siri.
But in this case, it would be an avatar that sings and dances that you actually want to talk to.
They will remember you, they will know about you, and they will talk based on that information.
AI creations would theoretically develop a unique relationship with every user and be available around the clock on every device
Hi everyone, this is Tyra from Maeve.
and not limited by language.
Bonjour, je suis Zena de Maeve.
Designers are programming these AI pop stars to interact with fans. The technology still has a long way to go,
Now it's time for the moment you have waited so much.
and some programmers concede there may need to be laws to regulate these creations.
We have to be careful actually. If somebody evil can use it, it might be disaster.
Designers say, unlike human celebrities, these AI pop stars won't age and won't ever tire out and can do anything they're programmed to do. It's like science fiction, like the robots could be taking over.
네.
Yes, like the robots that conquer the human world, we've appeared to conquer the pop music world to steal people's hearts.
This may be a glimpse of entertainment in the not too distant future.
Interessante. So Maeve, that second group that you saw there, that I actually watched their music video Pandora. It's not a bad song. It's not my cup of tea, but it is cool to see that group, because we'll talk about it later, but that group is actually different than this first group. So this that person in that video, that's, I guess, Jane is how you pronounce it. With the help of real-time face swapping technology and an AI-generated voice, Jane is played by 10 different people, including actors, singers, and dancers, who lend their talents to her avatar as needed. In one video posted on Jane's Instagram, for example, she rides a longboard beside Seoul's Han River. For the video, her creators filmed the stunt with a stand-in whose face was later swapped out. And here is this video right here. So you can kind of see a little bit of the face. But that's just a regular person doing that. And then they just come in later and swap out the face. So that's now 10 years ago, that's crazy technology. But for our current day and age, that's not something that you don't see. Right? So that's just something that's a little bit cool. However, we go further and further down here. So how were they made? Team at Pulse 9 began the process of bringing Eternity to life by designing its members' looks. They generated 101 unique digital faces inspired by existing Korean celebrities before dividing them into 4 categories, dubbed sexy, cute, intelligent, and innocent, and narrowing the selection down to 11 via an online poll. Interesting categories there, I'll say that. Using deepfake and motion capture technology, Pulse 9 then produced the band's first music video in 2021. Reaction to the video was mixed. Many social media users felt the band's members' facial expressions looked unnatural and divorced from their bodies, while many others cited the uncanny valley effect, whereby viewers are discomforted by things that resemble humans but aren't. 5 months later, when Pulse 9 released Eternity's next music video, No Filter, followers noted that the group is almost indistinguishable from the real thing. Quote, I'm surprised how realistic they sound, and the visuals look more realistic than the debut song, reads the most liked comment on YouTube. This is the group right here. So you can kind of see that, like in that video of Jane, it's a real person, but they're basically putting on an artificially generated face over it. So it's cool, but it's not crazy. It's just very interesting. Now we move on to the one that really intrigued me. Earlier this year, Metaverse Entertainment, an agency formed by video game publisher Netmarble and SM Entertainment's parent company, Kakao Entertainment, debuted a virtual girl group, Maeve. Unlike Eternity, which relies on straightforward face swaps, Maeve's 4 members were generated from scratch using CGI. And this is Maeve right here. And I think this is actually from the set of their music video, Pandora, which I did listen to, and I suggest that you do the same. I'm not saying it's a great song, but it's weird knowing that it is completely like artificially generated. I don't know about any of the production side of it, but certainly the voices and the actual characters are. Metaverse Entertainment used AI technology to generate faces, merging the features and hairstyles deemed most desirable into 4 final characters. The company employed motion capture technology to record real-life K-pop performances at a deep learning program, then used to animate music videos. The group's vocals are part of human and part AI generated. Are part human, part AI generated. So I guess it's a mixture 50-50. I don't know how that exactly works. Said Metaverse's Entertainment Chief Technical Officer Kang Sung Koo. Our goal is to create fully AI-driven virtual humans that are really believable. The music video for Maeve's first song, Pandora, has already racked up 25 million views on YouTube. Now, moving on to the future of K-pop. I guess the big question for everybody is this actually going to replace music? Could someday there be, because there's a lot of advantages to having this technology, which I'll go in a second. But let's read this last article. But actually, first, is this the future? I think the main concern that people will have here is obviously artists not being able to compete because they can't keep up with the creation of straight songs and albums and just the amount of creativity that these potential artificially generated artists are able to do. I mean, you could have an entire 15-song album created in probably 30 minutes. I mean, maybe an hour. I mean, I'm not sure, but it's very likely that something that would have taken a human 6 months to make an album. Think of Drake just released an album. How long did it take him to release that? Imagine making a new Drake album in 4 hours, 5 hours, something like that. And it's just something you put into a program. You listen back, you make some tweaks, you plug it back into the program. You say, hey, I want to have this aspect of the song a little bit more, this aspect of the song a little bit less. And a couple hours later, you got a full Drake album. Is that possible? I don't think it's possible right now. In the future, I think it will be possible, but will people still want to listen to it knowing that it's AI generated? I don't know. I guess that's more of a question for my generation and the generations after mine, because if you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, I really don't think you're going to start listening to artificially generated music. I could be wrong, but I feel as though those people kind of have their music choices picked out. Now, for this last little section, the future of K-pop. Virtual K-pop stars may enjoy an advantage over human ones when it comes to engaging with their fan bases. Advancements in AI language programs could make it possible for fans to speak with and even build their own personal relationship with their idols. Metaverse Entertainment is already experimenting with this idea via apps that allow users to directly interact with Maeve. The band's members currently speak Korean, English, French, and Indonesian, indicative of key fan bases and target markets, though they could theoretically speak any number of languages. Quote, there are some things I cannot tell even my best friend, so maybe I could tell a personalized AI, which can comfort me and care about me, Kang said. I think it'll be good for everybody. What can you not tell, even your best friends, that you would feel comfortable telling to an AI? What are you hiding? Anyways, this is, see, you can kind of see right here. Graphics are not world changing. Kind of looks like a real person, kind of looks fake. I mean, they gotta change the hairstyle up a little bit. I mean, this is not the best look. I mean, you got purple, you got brown, we're a little all over the place. Nice shoes though. I think those are Adidas. Nice little Apple Watch. All right, the rest of the outfit works. All right, moving on. That's Jane. It's Jane right here from probably this looks like the same area where she filmed her Instagram video on the board. Maybe that hair isn't as bad as I thought it was before. Yeah, that's all right. I take back what I say. I apologize. Anywho, the development could certainly be good for companies like Kang's. The K-pop industry is underpinned by a laborious trainee system in which hopefuls are modeled from a young age, often going through years of costly dance and music classes before debuting. According to the Wall Street Journal, SM Entertainment spent approximately $3 million taking Girls' Generations to market in 2007. Agencies must invest in lessons, studio space, styling, and sometimes even cosmetic procedures for potential band members, costs not required for virtual talents. Furthermore, computer-generated pop stars will never fall ill, age, or become embroiled in contract disputes or tabloid scandals. But there is little chance major agencies replacing their real-life bands anytime soon, said Kang, acknowledging that some quarters of K-pop fandoms have reacted badly to AI groups. Criticism was about replacing current idols with virtual ones. They thought current idols might lose their jobs. Yeah, that makes sense. Eternity's creator Park agreed, comparing the emergence of AI to the invention of photography in the 19th century. Many painters were afraid of the new technology, but today we still have painters. I think BTS will never be afraid of virtual idols. They're just new content. I mean, many painters were afraid of the of photography, yeah. But it's a little bit different where the art form of a painter is different than a picture. A picture is just an image. Yeah, you can edit it. You can do Photoshop and all that kind of stuff, but a painter is usually an abstract thought where somebody like Vincent van Gogh is painting Starry Night. Like, yeah, there's the Mona Lisa, which is basically just a picture. But then you have these other designs, like people who do these crazy, all over the place, crazy drawings, as opposed to say a just a straight image. So there is a little bit of difference there. However, I do think there is a potential that this completely flops, that nobody cares about artificially generated pop stars, rappers, anything like that. And I think the reason for it is not because the music won't be as good, but I think if people know that this is generated by a computer, some people like myself will be intrigued with it. But if you're a big time music listener and you're listening to music every single day and like you really care about the music, you care about the creation side of it as well, production, all of the stuff that's embroidered with it, I feel like those people are more so going to want to have the original human ideas in their ears rather than artificially computer generated audio from, say, a computer, say a robot, say even a group like Maeve. And once again, I'll stress, go listen to their song Pandora. I'm not going to play it because I'll probably get demonetized, although I'm not monetized. So I don't know why I said that. I'll get like copyright stricken. But go listen to their song Pandora, Mave. The song name is Pandora. Go listen to it. It's not a bad song. And I'm not a big K-pop fan, but I try and apply that to music that I listen to. Like there was a huge controversy over a Drake artificially generated song on TikTok, and it was good. Like it was an objectively good little sample of a potential Drake song. And there's other songs. Another song that popped up was called Winter's Cold by Drake AI. That's a really good song. You can find that on YouTube. It's an entire song and it's really good. But because of the fact that that's not a Drake song where you have 40 producing and you have individual things like Drake's creativity, like on this last album of his, I think it's called For the Dogs or All the Dogs, whatever. He had his son on one of his tracks. And now that's something that he's never had. He had his son do like a little freestyle on one of the tracks, do some like audio in the background of some of the songs as well. Is that an idea that an artificially generated computer program would come up with? Drake's never had his song on any of his previous songs. He's never put him on like an album or anything. Is that something that AI would have just thought of in the moment? And then later in the future, is Drake going to have his son on all of his songs? And same question goes for artificially generated music. If they include it on one album, are they going to continue doing so on further albums? I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think that humans, as in our current state, are far more creative than these artificially generated music artists. And maybe that changes in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, but as it currently stands right now, the creativity side is going to go towards the humans. And I also think humans understand that and appreciate that more, that this is an original idea generated by a human, somebody who was doing something and then they heard a couple lines of a song, they heard a beat, they had an experience, and then they wrote down lyrics, or they performed it live, or they freestyled, or whatever it was, and then they recorded it, made sure it sounded good, and went through all of this work to put together a song, as opposed to somebody just putting into a ChatGPT prompt, be like, write a song about singing the ABCs, but make it a Drake song. And then having that come out and then creating a song using that. I think people understand the difference between the two. And I think in our current state, my generation of adults, maybe some of them will be like, I just like that I'm able to get a new song from this AI generated version of Drake, a new entire 3-4 minute song every single day if I want it, or every single week if I want it. Now, one of the things about the Drake artificial generated songs that he did, that was still people who put into a prompt, hey, write me a Drake song. And so they got, I believe it was lyrics, but the production, the actual performance, all done by a human. And then on the back end, they used a voice changer to change it into a Drake voice. So it is somebody who went, maybe they got the lyrics from ChatGPT, but with those lyrics that either they wrote or they got from some artificial intelligence program, they then performed a song as if they were Drake, did all of this production, creating the beat, creating all of the mixing for the audio so that it sounds good, and then they dubbed over their voice with a Drake filter and then put that out. That's not really exactly what the Mave group is, because the Mave, from what I understand, is they're creating songs 100% via artificially generated stuff, whereas in the Drake example, you have somebody who's basically creating a Drake song via their own lyrics and own production and all of this stuff, but they're just adding a Drake voice on top of it. And I think that there's more potential for people to respect the one where it's just somebody putting a Drake voice filter on the song rather than a whole group where everything's 100% artificially generated. But the younger generations, I feel like they won't have an issue with that. I think they're growing up in a time where you're given a tablet as a 4 or 5-year-old. You complain to your parents too much on a family vacation. And I saw this when my family and I, when we went to Portugal, and I see this all the time in my daily life as well. You see in a public place, a kid, whether it's at a mall or something like that, a kid is bothering the parent. They're being very needy. They're having temper tantrums. They're hungry. They're tired. They got all this energy. They're all over the place. And then the parent just gets just fed up because they're with their friend. They're with other people, and they want to be able to have a conversation with them because their whole time is taken up by their child, and they just want a couple of minutes to hang out with other people, have a conversation about some type of matter, a private or important conversation, and then they have their kid coming up and bothering them. Not that they hate their kid or anything. It's just that sometimes I imagine you want to have conversations with other adults or interact with other people, and you don't want your kid to try and be getting your attention, yelling and pulling at your leg. What blah 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 blah. Sometimes you don't want that, right? And sometimes what the parents do is their solution is, all right, where's the tablet? Let's get you a tablet. Here, take my phone, scroll on TikTok. And I think for those kids who grow up, and I'm thinking about this more and more so as I'm getting closer and potentially having children. What does that do to the kid? Where they grow up from the age of 5, 6, 7, 8, and they are able to access a tablet pretty much almost at any time that they want to. Because once you get it once by complaining and you want it a second time, you're going to do the thing that worked the last time as a kid. I was a kid, and I would find ways to get what I wanted, whether that was get my phone back after it gotten taken away by my parents. I would make stuff up, be like, I need to I think I have a group project tomorrow. Can I just text my friends to make sure that I have everything? And then I would make up an entire scheme and be like, yeah, it was for English 306. We had to do this paper, and I need to know whether or not we had to do this reading for it. And they'd be like, okay, give me my phone. And then I would just go on, I think at the time I probably was just Instagram or the iFunny app. That was a big app when I was in middle school. But stuff like that where I would manipulate them. Not a good way to grow up. And now, unfortunately, I spend 8 to 10 hours on my phone daily. And part of that is because I listen to podcasts mostly on YouTube, also on Spotify, but mostly YouTube. And you have to have the app open the whole time. So every day it says I got like 5-6 hours just from having YouTube open, which is different. But some days I'll have 2-3 hours of TikTok or 2-3 hours of Instagram, or a combination of like 3 hours with TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. It's definitely not ideal. But going back to what I was talking about, the generation of kids who grow up with a tablet in their hand, who grow up with an instant, hey, I want to get content as soon as I can. I'm really bored. I don't want to open up this book and read and get to page 5 or 6. There's no moving pictures. There's no funny voices, no audio portion of this. They go grab a tablet and they open it up and say there is a AI generated song for Drake. We'll take that example. I feel like those kids are going to be more inclined to want to have that artificially generated image. Now it's up to the parents to ultimately let them listen to it. Now maybe you'll have some kids who do it behind their backs. But for parents to let that information like kind of be brought out in front of them. And I think if kids are given the opportunity to access these artificially generated musical pieces, I feel like they'll actually like them. And I think that because there could potentially be so many songs that are generated using artificial intelligence and your kid's favorite artist, it could potentially be something where they are actually interested in it more so than, say, regular human generated music where they have to wait 3 to 6 weeks for their next Baby Shark to Do song. Whereas with AI, you can generate Shark to Do remix number 500 in just a couple of hours.